Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, having become a curse for us, for it is written, "Cursed is everyone who hangs on a tree." Galatians chapter 3, verse 13. When the Apostle Paul refers to the law, he means the Mosaic law found in the first 5 books of the Old Testament, which instructed the Israelites how to properly worship and honor God through various commands and requirements. The Greek word for them in the Bible is exagorazo. It was a financial term that referred to the process of purchasing a slave's freedom. When a slave was redeemed, he or she was no longer bound to the rules and expectations of a slave's life. So to be redeemed from the curse of the law means to be set free from its rules and regulations. In other words, those who are redeemed from the curse of the law are no longer required to observe the law's commands as the Israelites were. Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law. That is, his sacrificial work on the cross purchased our freedom from the law. What we could not do in perfectly obeying God's will laid out in the law, Christ did for us. In that way, he fulfilled the law and accomplished what God intended. This does not mean we completely ignore everything in the Mosaic law. There are many commands in the law that all people from all time should always obey. For example, Exodus chapter 20 verse 13 says, "You shall not murder." Even though Christ fulfilled the law, God's people should still observe the command not to take another human's life. Though we are redeemed from the curse of the law and set free from its rules and regulations, it's still important to observe the moral and ethical commands found within the law. Of the 10 commandments, 9 are repeated in the New Testament as commands for us today. To be redeemed from the curse of the law also means that we no longer have to face the judgment of God. The law was perfect, and as sinful beings, the Israelites could not perfectly observe the law. They were considered cursed whenever they disobeyed the law or failed to live up to its expectations. God's judgment rested on all of those who did not live according to his ways. And since God has placed the moral requirements of the law on all human hearts, not just the Israelites, we are all under a curse and deserving of God's judgment, for the wages of sin is death. So when Paul says that we are redeemed from the curse of the law, he means that we no longer will receive the judgment of God because of the way we fall short of his holy standards. Through Jesus' atoning work on the cross, he became the curse for us in order to receive the judgment of God on himself. He died in our place so that we wouldn't have to experience the wrath of God. Instead, by grace through faith, we could receive the gift of the Holy Spirit. It was Moses who wrote that the penalty for condemned criminals was to hang upon a tree as a sign that they were cursed of God, and by being lifted up and hung on Calvary's tree. Christ was made a curse for us, redeeming us from the curse of the law. No wonder the Apostle Paul was able to write, "We preach Christ crucified, to the Jews a stumbling block, and to the Gentiles foolishness. But to those who are called, both Jews and Gentiles, Christ the power of God and the wisdom of God." To God be the glory. God bless you.